In the beginning of the story, Mike misses a very emergency news on TV. He was telling in the news that an unknown virus like rabies has recently made a ruckus all over the world. But Mike had not seen this news at all. He went out to buy groceries as usual. He was still wondering why so many ambulances were seen today. In a little while, he reached the supermarket. Mike was enjoying his shopping, but when he looked up, he found that the rest of the people were filling their bags like crazy. Mike did not pay much attention to this. He just bought some things he needed and came home quickly to feed his cat. After that, he took out his ex-wife's favorite bracelet and put it on the cat. Actually, a few days ago, when he and his wife were returning home, they had an accident. His wife was so badly injured that she died on the spot. Now, only Mike and his cat were left in the house with each other. Then, as usual, he put all the stuff in the fridge. And he did not know anything until his sister sent him a video last night. His brother-in-law, who works in the government department, was told that this virus is much more dangerous than the news on TV, and its spreading speed is faster than thought. Now, the government has created a temporary safe zone for families on a small hill. His sister told Mike to come and meet him quickly so that they can all take shelter in that safe zone together. Mike did not want to go from there, but after his sister's repeated explanations, he finally decided to take shelter in Europe with his sister's family. The next morning, Mike left for the airport with his cat. Mike had no idea about the danger of this virus until then. He reached the airport in no time and bought something to drink before he could rest. But when he was standing in line to board the flight, the system to check the boarding gate tickets suddenly broke down. At this time, Mike thought that this was a small malfunction of the machine. But the very next moment, he saw that all the flights had been canceled. When everyone was scared, suddenly everyone got an emergency alert on their phones. Due to the rapid spread of the virus, the country has now stopped anyone from coming and going to a public place. And all citizens should return home as soon as possible and quarantine themselves. By this time, there was complete chaos at the airport. At this time, his sister called him and Mike picked up the phone to ask him how he was doing. "Go home quickly. You will have to hide inside until you find out the situation ahead." Now Mike finally understood how serious the matter was. Seeing that there was going to be a riot in the airport hall, everyone suddenly started running towards the exit. Mike also saw this and ran out behind the crowd. But when he was driving back home, he saw that there was already a terrible jam on the highway. All he could see were the cars running away trying to save their lives. Seeing that the house was only 6 kilometers away, Mike decided to leave his car there and go home on foot. Mike kept walking from morning to evening. When he reached the door of his house exhausted, he saw that his neighbor's house was surrounded by soldiers and guards. Even a plastic tunnel was made at the door. He quickly moved forward and asked what had happened. But the soldier standing next to him completely ignored him and just told him to go back to his house immediately and not crowd here. Then he saw a very scary sight. He saw that his neighbor was wearing a special kind of mask and the soldiers were bringing him out of the house. Mike's soul trembled seeing his constant shrieks and trembling body. Now he understood how dangerous this virus is. Even after returning home, Mike had not been able to come out of that fear. The next morning, Mike woke up and found out that his sister had brought bad news again. Because this time the virus is spreading very fast, the government is not able to control it. That's why he has given an order to continue the lockdown in all the cities. However, the government has made temporary quarantine zones all around the city to prevent the virus from spreading. And soon everyone will be sent to the army and taken out of there. So no matter what happens, stay at home. Although Mike had promised his sister that he would stay at home, but there was very little food left in the house. Thinking that he had to stay alone for a long time, Mike went to the supermarket to collect some groceries. But as soon as he entered the supermarket, he saw that all the food on the shelf had already been stolen. Mike had no other way, so he picked up some scattered food here and there. But before he could see what it was, an old man snatched it. Mike wanted to argue, but seeing that the old man was in front of him, he didn't say anything. He just quickly took the leftover food. After that, he went to a nearby shop and filled all the food scattered on the shelf in his bag. But as soon as he left the shop with the food, he saw a policeman running towards him holding his hand from a distance. And then he locked himself in a room. Mike had not yet understood what was going on. Then he saw that some people were screaming and running here and there. And then he saw that someone had dropped a policeman on the ground. Seeing this, Mike was about to pick up an iron rod and move forward. But the very next moment, he got scared and froze in his place. That infected man ran towards him screaming. But the very next moment, the policeman shot him. Mike had not yet come out of that shock that he saw that the policeman inside the house had also been infected with the virus. He wanted to move forward to see that injured policeman. But the policeman told Mike to leave immediately. After that, the policeman surrendered and shot himself. Mike returned home, dropped all the curtains, then put an iron net on the wall of the courtyard. And in the end, he broke all the bars on all the doors and fixed them. What was going on outside? To see this live, he also got a camera from the storeroom, so that if someone suddenly comes out of trouble, he can get some time to deal with it. When he set everything, it was midnight. Mike looked out of the window and found that the army was slowly removing the people around him. And soon he heard a knock on the door. Mike quickly hid in a corner and held his breath. And in the end, he was saved from the search of soldiers without any danger. Half a month passed by. Now no bird was flying on the busy roads. But Mike did not get any help from his sister. With the network cut off in the city, the fridge food was also about to run out. If he had waited any longer, then perhaps Mike would have died of hunger at home. To stay alive, Mike had to take a risk and go out to look for things. Without any weapons, he could not dare to go too far. He could only enter the houses of the neighbors and search. But he searched several houses in a row and he did not find anything. When he did not give up and went to the next house, he was surprised to see that there was still someone in this house. Actually, that old woman could not go because she was disabled from both her legs. Before the spread of the virus, her children had lied that they would first send their children to a safe zone and then come to take them back. But she did not know that as soon as they left, they would turn off their phones. Even the rescue team had left her after seeing that her legs were in bad shape. The two of them talked a little. After that, the old woman immediately asked if she had found any food. She did not say anything, just shook her head. Mike said that he had searched the entire street, but he did not find any food. When Mike felt that he was going to die of hunger, the old woman said very comfortably that she could help. Saying this, she called Mike to her bed. Actually, that old woman kept an eye out of the window every day. That's why she knew very well which house had food. Really, walking on the path she told him, Mike started getting things, and in a little while he filled his bag. He also found a dusty motorcycle in a house. As soon as he got the bike, the circle of his arrival also gradually increased. In half a day, Mike got a lot of stuff, and in this way, the two of them spent some more time together. But on the same night, when the two of them lit a candle and finished their dinner, they suddenly got a radio message. If there is a crowd there, the risk of infection will increase. The old woman said that it is not necessary that the place is really safe. If any person becomes a virus, everything will end. Although Mike was also listening to her, but there was very little food left. They had to go outside and see the situation. But when the two of them were talking about how to get out of there, the old woman said that she could not go. She knew that her legs did not work and she had a lot of trouble walking. That's why she did not want to be a burden for Mike. Mike heard this and said that he would not leave her alone and would try his best to take her with him. The next morning, Mike got up early and started packing his stuff to leave. But when he picked up the walkie-talkie to talk, there was no answer from the other side. Mike waited for a while, but still there was no movement. He suddenly felt something was wrong, so he immediately ran to the old woman's house to see the situation. But he saw that the old woman had taken medicine and committed suicide. That good woman did not want to be a burden on Mike, and she left this world forever. Although Mike was very sad, he also had to leave and go to the assembly point. But when he was crossing the road, a zombie suddenly dropped him on the ground. It was fortunate that Mike stopped him at the right time. The next moment, his nail gun accidentally slipped out of his hand and fell far away. Mike used all his strength to stop his attack, pushed him hard and then kicked him hard and threw the zombie away. And then he quickly got up and climbed on the roof of the car. The zombie grabbed his leg and pulled him straight down, and then opened his mouth to bite him. Luckily, Mike was wearing a thick wetsuit. Mike saw the right time to open the car door, pushed him out, and then hit him hard and blew him away. Mike lost and had to shoot the zombie across the head with his harpoon gun. This woman was a person who lived in his society, whom Mike had seen before. Before leaving there, Mike took out the woman's ID card. He thought that if this destruction was over someday, he would be able to know her name from this ID card and have it written on his grave. The zombie's presence in the society was a solid proof that it was not safe to stay here anymore. So he sent a message to his sister in which he told her about going to the refugee camp at the sea. He wrote that if luck is on our side, we will meet in a few days and hope to find a place with a network on the way so that you can get my message soon. Before leaving the city, Mike went to see that quarantine John once, and his brother-in-law was right. That place was completely destroyed. He went to the port from a small narrow road, but he found zombies on the way. For a moment, he lost his mind and collided with a pile of corpses. The car turned over and he fell down with his cat. The car was of no use anymore, so Mike had to hang his cat's bag on his shoulder and walk ahead. This place was not far from the port. He used all his strength and ran into the port. He locked the door and stopped the entire crowd of zombies outside. He had just taken a deep breath that another big problem had come. His ship was missing from there. The guess was that the agent had run away with him. After that, Mike went to a shop to sell fishing gear and found some useful things from there. He also arranged another bullet for his harpoon gun. When he came out of the shop, he saw a ship in the water. So he thought to try it and he swam to that ship. The ship was of no use. Then he heard some sounds coming from a small cabin inside the ship. As soon as Mike opened the door, he saw a small child inside who had become a zombie due to the virus, and he was looking very scary. After leaving the sea, Mike sent a message to his sister again. It was nightfall and suddenly Mike's ship stopped. It was not that the oil had run out, but there was some malfunction in the engine. When he pulled the engine up and looked, he found that 2 propeller blades had broken. At the same time, a woman's body was seen in the water. Surely the woman's hair must have got stuck in the propeller and it must have broken due to that pull. Then he saw a patrolling boat coming from afar and Mike asked for help from them. But when the boat came close, Mike saw that their faces were very scary and they did not look like good people from anywhere. They told Mike that there is no need to be afraid. This patrolling boat has left the refugee camp near the sea to look for food, and they can take him to the camp right now. The captain of that camp was a Russian man who only spoke Russian, and Mike could not understand a single word of it. There was a translator there named Victor. Victor's father was from Ukraine and his mother was from Mexico. That's why he knew both Russian and Spanish. Victor told that the captain is asking that are you from here and how did you reach in the middle of the sea? Mike replied that my house is in a nearby society and I heard on the radio that this sea camp is going to Canary Islands. That's why I came here. When Victor translated this, the captain told Mike that it is not possible to go to the place where you are talking about. The army has sealed all the ports of the entire Tapu and is not allowing any external ship to come near. Then they gave Mike a room to stay. In the middle of the night, Mike's sleep was coming from outside. He heard a scream and broke down. He looked out of the window and realized that he was running for his life. Some more people had reached there. Listening to their voices, it seemed that they were from the Arab country. The next morning, Victor again came to Mike and said that the captain is calling you. You have to go right now. Mike asked him about those people who were there last night. Why are they not seen since this morning? Victor said that no one has come here except you. Don't ask why. Just remember that no one had come here. Mike was not a fool either. He understood for sure that there is a big secret hidden in this camp. After telling the captain where he could get supplies nearby, he came back to Victor. Victor clearly said that if you want to stay alive on this ship, you should stop asking useless questions. Mike felt that it was not right to stay here anymore. That's why he decided to run away from there and started to incite Victor to run with him. Mike said that there is a church hospital nearby and they have a helicopter. If we get that helicopter, we can reach the Canary Islands directly. My sister is there. She will receive us. Victor did not listen to him, and Mike also did not console him much. He thought that if he did not go, he would leave with his cat alone. Taking advantage of the darkness of the night, he wore his thick wetsuit, stuffed the cat in the bag, and left to steal a speedboat from there. As soon as he reached the lower part of the boat, he saw the Arab people from yesterday. He remembered that 2 men and 2 women had come, but now those 2 men were tied up there, sustained, and those 2 women had no whereabouts. Mike tried to open and save them, but those 2 men felt as if they were being taken to kill them, and they were scared to death and started screaming loudly. Their voices alerted the guards. Seeing someone running, a guard fired a direct shot. At the right time, Victor rebelled. He grabbed that guard and snatched his gun. He did this because he understood what Mike was saying, and he also wanted to run with Mike. Meanwhile, the captain also reached there, and he also fired a direct shot at the head of the other man. Mike started the boat, and Victor started firing bullets to cover him. But the firing of the opponents was very fast. Meanwhile, a guard's bullet hit Victor's hand. After this, he somehow brought the boat to the edge of the highway, because cars could be found here. Most of the cars were locked. There was a zombie inside a car. Mike killed that zombie and took his car. Now they and a cat were on their way to the hospital. Suddenly, a zombie came running from the side and jumped on their car. Mike was shocked. He quickly dropped the zombie and then shot him with Victor's gun. But after hearing the fast sound of the bullet, the other zombies nearby also came towards him. They ran inside the hospital and hid in an on-operation theater. Mike wanted to pull the bullet out of Victor's hand, but there was no tool in that room, so he had to go elsewhere to find the tool, and he left his cat with Victor so that he wouldn't be alone. There, Mike heard someone talking in the next room. He just asked, "Is there anyone else alive in the hospital?" As soon as he shouted, the answer came from the front. Those were the voices of the children, and they were more than one. After that, Mike went up the stairs to see them. This time, he heard a child telling another person that a man has come downstairs. Mike immediately told him about his location. He was just talking that suddenly a zombie came inside. He didn't know anything about the roads there, so he started running like crazy where he saw the road. When he reached the operation theater, he saw that Victor was missing. The zombies were about to break the door, but they were lucky that a nurse and a child reached there on time. They opened the emergency exit and saved Mike and took him out. Victor was also there with them. 3 children, a doctor and a nurse were among the survivors in the hospital. When the doctor saw that Victor was shot, he thought that these people must be bad people. But the nurse had faith in Mike. Looking at his face, she knew that he was not a bad person. When the doctor was doing Victor's surgery, the 3 children's eyes were on Mike's cat. They wanted to touch it, but they were ashamed to ask. Mike knew that children love to play with cats, so he himself asked them to come close and touch it. He also told them that this cat is very smart. It doesn't bite. The nurse came out and told Mike that the surgery went well. He just has a little fever, but the medicine is empty, so he will be fine in a while. He also asked Mike, "What are you doing here?" Mike said, "We came here to find a helicopter. We didn't know that the helicopter was not here anymore." The nurse said that the helicopter is actually here, only its place has been changed. There is a helipad in front and behind the hospital, and now the helicopter is standing in the ground behind. But there is a fire on the way back. There is so much smoke there that it is not able to come out, so no one can go there from that way. At night, Mike went to Ward No. 8 while walking. His wife took her last breath in that room. That scene from a year ago was just like yesterday for him. It was all in front of his eyes even today. Even a small cat probably understood his feelings, so she ran to him. Mike took out his wife's bracelet and tied it to the hospital bed. This time, he didn't know when to return after leaving here, so now it was time to say goodbye forever. The next morning, when he went to the hospital roof, he got the network. His sister was not able to contact him, so he recorded the video and sent it, that whenever he meets him, he will see it. In the initial video, he was just telling about his life, but slowly, his sister also started getting scared. She was afraid that something might happen to Mike. He couldn't even watch the entire video that there were sounds of bullets being fired in the ground below. When he peeped, he found out that the captain and his men had reached there. If they were caught, death was certain. Mike felt that there was no time to waste. He had to leave for the helicopter right now. As usual, he put the cat back in the bag. After crossing that part of the fire, he reached the path that connected directly to the ground behind him. As soon as he opened the door, a zombie jumped on him. His aim was perfect and he bit the doctor. Mike and the nurse together bit the zombie and he wanted to see the doctor's wound. But the doctor said, "You guys don't worry about me and don't delay at all. Take these kids and get out of here quickly." Right outside the back door of that path, there was a ground where the helicopter was standing, but it was impossible to go straight. Mike asked Victor, "How long will it take you to start the helicopter?" There were a lot of racks to keep the goods. All of them together made a big circle with those racks. They kept the kids in the middle and left only one way to get out. This method was really very useful. They fell like a strong iron drum and the zombies were not able to get inside at all. Mike and the nurse met very well and cleared all the zombies that came in front of them. After reaching the helicopter, Victor took the kids and got on the helicopter first. Mike grabbed the door and sent the nurse inside first, but this helicopter was not ready to start immediately. So Mike had to stop on the ground and fight the zombies so that he could take out time. When their main door was about to break, the captain came there with his men. He killed all the zombies on the ground and then told Victor and the rest to get off the helicopter. He hid himself behind the iron door very cleverly so that the zombies could not see him. When such a large crowd of zombies entered the ground, they destroyed everything. The captain and his men could not hold on for long and were completely destroyed, while Mike took advantage of the time to fight them and made a way for himself. Victor also picked up the helicopter and threw a rope down so that Mike could climb on it. There was a huge risk involved in his victory. After that, all those people flew the helicopter and left for those dacoits. So let's end today's video here. I hope you liked it, so please do like and support. I thank you all in advance for this. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.